Greetings, my Legionnaires! Today I bring you news of my recent encounter with the one and only Tomb Raider. A reboot of the previous two feature film entries in the franchise, this outing attempts to follow the grittier reimagining of Lara Croft's adventures like its modern video game counterpart. The question remains, does it stick the landing? Well, I'll tell you all that and more in a brief spoiler-free plot synopsis, along with the highlights and the shortcomings. It has been 7 years since Richard Croft went missing searching for the tomb of an ancient Japanese queen named Himiko. His goal was to validate the truth of the supernatural to relieve some of the guilt he had from losing his wife. However, in the process, he left his daughter Lara back in London. Refusing to accept that her father is dead and inherit his fortune, Lara spends her time trying to scrape together a living. Although she is determined to avoid the reality of her father's passing, she comes into some of his possessions that inevitably lead her to pick up the search where he left off. Now she seeks the final resting place of Himiko in hopes of finding out any information on her father. Let's begin as always with the strengths of our opponent. Alicia Vikander's portrayal of Lara Croft is spot on. The reimagining of the character that took place in the games is on full display here, as she is tough, relatable, and humorous when the occasion calls for it. This attachment one builds for the character only makes her adventures all the more harrowing. Witnessing Lara get pummeled, stabbed, and nearly killed on multiple occasions would not be nearly as impactful if you did not care for her in the first place. This more grounded take on her and the adventure itself is echoed beautifully from its gaming counterpart with an encompassing brutality present in all the action set pieces. Thrilling chases and ruthless fight scenes make the picture move at a brisk pace while never lingering too long between the chaos. While this is a solid first step in this fledgling film franchise, it does have a few flaws that keep it from excellence. An overabundant use of CGI is apparent, and while it permeates the latter half of the picture, it is somewhat forgivable as it was used to keep Vikander alive, presumably. The story is also one that has been done before, and it lacks much originality. Overall, Tomb Raider is a really good film. The action is hard-hitting, the sets are well done, and Alicia Vikander steals the entire show by representing a realistic interpretation of this beloved heroine. An excessive use of CGI can somewhat muddle the bedlam of the third act of the film, but this is truly one worth a trip to the theaters to witness. Legionnaires, agree with my review? Let me know in the comments below. Also, be sure to check in next week on my podcast, The Critical Podcast, to see me discuss the film at length with my good buddy Joe. If you want to support the channel, liking and subscribing definitely help, but consider donating to our glorious campaign over on Patreon or sharing us with a friend. Thanks so much for stopping by, and remember to adapt and overcome.